Hi, my name's Mercy and I'm a cheerleader on the University of Strathclyde cheerleading team. I've been cheering with them for 4 years during the entirety of my university course, and I'm here to talk about racism. As a black person, I have been in performance sports for a very long time, in predominantly white spaces. I was previously a competitive gymnast. I moved on to being a gymnastics coach, and when I got to university, I entered the world of cheer. I think it's very important to talk about racism at a time like this when the Black Lives Matter movement is being progressed. And I think it's a time where we all need to be having these conversations and we all need to be willing to be educated and learning on how to move forward from this. I'm here to talk about my experiences as a black person within the UK University cheerleading community. And I hope that we can all take what we can from this and really put these conversations, these thoughts, these perspectives into. We received quite a lot of questions on our Instagram stories regarding the topic of racism within the cheer community, but I just want to emphasize that these answers that I'll be giving are from my experiences and my perspectives. I cannot speak for the entire black community, but I hope that I can give some sort of insight into what us as black voices are trying to bring forward to the table. It is very important that you go back to your teams and listen to your black voices that are trying to speak up, that are willing to speak up, and that you listen to their experiences, listen to their perspectives. So the first question we received was, how would we like diversity on the team to change? And I think the main thing here is representation. Look to see on your team, is there representation? Is there diverse representation? Look to see on your socials, on your social media, is there diverse representation? Is there diverse representation at the stalls, at the sports fairs, at events? That is very important because for me, I think that you would want to be in a space where you feel like there are people like you. And that is something that for me as a black person, I personally did not see. Now, I love cheerleading. I love performance sports. Hence why I still went for cheerleading at Strathclyde. I think it's important to showcase the diversity on the team. And if you don't have diversity to showcase on your team, then I think it's important to figure out the root of that problem and figure out how you can therefore go out and reach out to people who are people of color, who are black people, who have an interest or even experience in the sport, because I promise you, we are out there. The next question I received was, have I faced problems as a black cheerleader? I can say that microaggressions are the biggest part of the problem that I have faced, and honestly, you may not even realize that these things are part of racism. Microaggressions can be from, having your hair extensions and calling it that you've got a new weave or you've got inches, the comments regarding fake tan, having costumes that only suit your skin tone, a white person's skin tone. And all of these things are microaggressions that we face very constantly, to be honest. Taking the fake tan issue, a lot of comments are, oh my goodness, I'm almost as dark as you. Or you have people saying that, oh my goodness, I'm so pale, I can't wait to be brown again. That is just very insensitive because, our skin tone, as much as I love my skin tone, I love being black, having that comment said to my face of you being, saying you're almost as dark as me, or saying that, you want to be brown again, you want to be dark again, that's not okay to me, because with our skin tone also comes problems, and it comes with racism. Next question was if I think there's enough being done to create and promote diversity and inclusion with regards to race and the black community. Honestly, I don't think there is, and the evidence shows because of the position that we're in and the very reason why I'm making this video. For instance, every October in the UK, it is Black History Month, and that is something that celebrates black culture and history. However, throughout my 4 years of university, the cheer community, I've not seen celebrate that. I've not seen them amplifying black voices. I've not seen them celebrating diversity when it comes to race and that matter. And that's just the starting point. Personally, I don't think there's been a lot being done at all when it comes to promoting diversity and inclusion within sports teams. A great place to start is on your social medias. Look to see, is there representation on your social medias? And if there's not, then you need to be a part of changing that narrative and, showcasing Black people, people of color on your social media as well. However, it does need to go beyond that, and I think an important place is on committees. Is there representation? Is there diversity in your committees? And personally, from my experience, I quickly recognized that there was not. And this was a big part of me running for a position on committee, and by achieving that position, I managed to be that representation. How can a white person stand with and support the Black community? And I think it comes with three things. One is acknowledging your bias and that uncomfortable word called privilege, educating yourself, and then amplifying Black voices and their experiences in the conversations that you are having within your predominantly white friendship groups. I think that's very important. If you're in situations where you hear, a racist remark, a microaggression, seeing something that's just not right, call it out. It is your time to call it out. Even if you don't see the Black person struggling to defend themselves or trying to call out the racist remark, don't take that as it's okay because they didn't say anything. A big problem is that we've been calling it out for a very long time, but it gets tiring. Once you receive that remark, that's already hurtful, that's already blown itself. So then to have to come up almost causing a problem of calling it out yourself, that becomes difficult. Whereas if someone who's white sees it and calls it out and tells that person who gave the remark or did whatever it was that was wrong, they call it out and say, hey, that's not right, that's the move to change, because it shows unity. It shows that, even you who's white see that it's wrong, and that person who gave the remark may also be like, hey, okay, maybe it was wrong. So I think it's just that thing of now taking action. Calling out things that you see is very, very important for people to realize that it is no longer okay. And it's never been okay. I honestly just think it really comes down to awareness, becoming aware of if something you said can sound insensitive, being aware of, will the hairstyle that we want for competition hair be suitable for everyone? Will the costume, the uniform that we are deciding to order and pay big money for, will that suit every skin tone, every complexion? That is something that needs to be thought about within the cheer community. So where do we go from here? How can we raise awareness? How can we keep the conversations going? And I think the most important thing is to educate and then reach out to the Black community and see where you can help. See what their experiences are, hear their perspectives, because understanding these things is then when you can begin to put things in action. You can begin to understand what different hairstyles can we adapt that will suit, all different types of hair textures. What makeup looks can we adapt that will suit all skin tones? What costumes and uniforms can we look into that will suit all different skin tones? And I think that's just the main thing. It's just a form of understanding and listening to those whose voices have been silenced or have been held back for a long time. Let them be able to speak out and help the cheer community, help your team change and put into action something that will help us as the Black community, but also help the entire team to understand, where the problems were and then where the solutions can be. So I want to thank everyone who gave in their questions, and I hope I brought to light some of the racial issues that are faced within the cheer community. I do want to emphasize again that I'm only one person. I cannot speak for everyone within the Black community, so it is very important that you do take this back to your teams, take it back to your friendship groups, take it back to your homes, and have these discussions to understand a broader perspective of what the Black community faces within sports and beyond. I also do want to recognize the fact that we are in the middle of a global pandemic, and I do hope that everyone is keeping safe and healthy. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you all keep safe and well.